There comes a moment in every great person's life when the noise becomes too loud, when the world keeps talking, judging, and questioning, and you simply stop caring. For Bill Gates, that moment didn't come at the peak of his success or the height of his fame. It came quietly, one ordinary morning, when he realized that no matter how much good he did, people would always find something to hate. For years, Bill had tried to explain himself, every decision, every donation, every rumor. When people accused him of things he didn't do, he responded with logic. When they twisted his intentions, he answered with facts. But eventually, he noticed something: no one was really listening. The internet didn't care about truth. It cared about noise. He would wake up to thousands of comments, some praising him, others tearing him apart. "Billionaire trying to control the world," one headline said. "Gates' secret plan exposed," said another. He used to laugh it off. But over time, the constant criticism began to sink deeper than he wanted to admit. He had spent decades trying to make the world better, fighting disease, improving education, funding clean energy, and yet, somehow, he was still the villain in people's stories. Then came the day everything changed. It was a rainy morning in Seattle. Gates was scheduled for another long day: meetings, interviews, a charity event, and an online panel about global health. But as he sat at his kitchen table, sipping his coffee, something inside him felt empty. His assistant handed him a list of calls to make. He looked at it, then simply said, "Cancel them." She froze. "All of them, sir?" He nodded. "All of them." For once, he didn't want to fix anything. He didn't want to explain, or defend, or plan. He wanted silence. Real silence. The kind he hadn't felt in decades. He walked outside into the drizzle. No umbrella, no phone, no team. Just himself. The streets were quiet, and the sound of rain against the pavement somehow felt more honest than anything he had heard online in years. He walked for hours, lost in thought. The city that once cheered his name now barely noticed him. People passed by, some recognizing him but saying nothing. And maybe that's what he needed, to just be another person again. As he walked, memories flooded back: the first computer he built, the nights he worked without sleep, the excitement of creation. Back then, he didn't care about fame or image. He just cared about solving problems. But somewhere along the way, the world had turned his passion into politics. He sat down on a bench overlooking Lake Washington. The water was still, almost mirror-like. For a long time, he just stared, thinking about everything he had built, everything he had lost, and everything people misunderstood. And in that quiet, something clicked. He realized he didn't need to care what people thought anymore. He didn't owe the world explanations. He didn't need to convince anyone of his goodness. The truth was simple. Those who wanted to understand him already did. And those who didn't, never would. At that moment, he let go. He let go of the need to be liked. He let go of the weight of public opinion. He let go of the illusion that everyone would ever see the world as he did. That day, Bill Gates stopped caring, not out of arrogance but out of peace. He decided that his work would speak louder than his words. If people wanted to doubt him, let them. If they wanted to hate him, let them. He was done chasing their approval. From that day forward, he changed. He spoke less in interviews. He stopped reading online comments. He focused quietly on his projects: funding clean water programs, vaccine research, and small communities that the world never saw in headlines. And slowly, without trying, he found something he hadn't felt in years: freedom. It's strange, but sometimes you find peace the moment you stop explaining yourself. The world will always talk, always twist, always judge, but none of that can touch you once you stop caring. Months later, during a rare interview, a journalist asked him, "Mr. Gates, people say you've become distant from the media, even cold. Why?" He smiled softly and said, "Because I realized I was spending too much time trying to be understood, and not enough time actually making a difference." The room fell silent. That's when people began to see a different side of Bill Gates, a man who didn't fight back with words anymore, but with quiet actions. He was no longer chasing applause. He was simply doing what mattered. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson his life can teach us, that the day you stop caring what people think isn't the day you give up. It's the day you start living on your own terms. Bill Gates didn't stop caring about the world, he just stopped caring about the noise. And in doing so, he found something far greater than approval. He found peace.